South Carolina, bro. On the road at Kentucky. A game that I know we didn't pick our boys to come win just based off what we had saw in week one. What are we to think of this South Carolina team?
Um, for the first time in a mighty long time, about 10 years, the defense is the identity of this team, and it's perfect. It's perfect, bro. Um, they really showed out. They made sure Brock Vandegrift was so uncomfortable, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, bro. Dylan Stewart, man, they triple team that man. That man still got through. That's the heart. That's the fight we need on this team, bro. That's just you can't coach that. That's that's talent. That is talent. What Dylan Stewart is, and Nick Ward showed out. Jalen Kilgore showed out. You know what I'm saying? DBs creating turnovers. I mean, hey, minus little hiccups that we had. They ran the ball a lot on us and everything like that. That team showed out today. And bro, how you feeling about college game day? It's gonna be in the Met this Saturday.
Um, I'm excited for it, dog. I mean, I'm excited for it. It's a cautious excitement is what I'd say. Of course, I'm happy that the team the team made a big statement in week two that even led to this even happening. Cautious because I know this is still the University of South Carolina at the end of the day. And so I can never be too up because consistency hasn't been one of those things that we've seen here with this program, especially, even though I'm still a fan of Beam, especially during the Beam era. Week to week is definitely always a different story. They do have an opportunity to prove I think, to the fan base and to the rest of the nation that there is something brewing here in South Carolina. There's a storm coming. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? If anything, uh, like you said, but to your point, the defense, the defensive line, Dylan Stewart. He almost got net for the week 2 weeks in a row. He almost got net for the week 2 weeks in a row, and we could very easily give it to him again. But his impact is you can't really quantify his impact in just purely numbers. Everybody's watching these games now is wondering how come this kid, why wasn't he the number one ranked player coming out of his class? We knew why he wasn't the number one ranked player coming out of his class because once you put on that hat that says University of South Carolina, everybody's taking this shit down. Everybody's taking it down. No, everybody's cutting off the TV. Nobody really wants to care about what's going on at the University of South Carolina, but he's been that much impactful. I mean, we're talking about we talked about Clowney coming into the year about him and Dylan Stewart being in the same air, brother. He's everything that we've asked him to be. He's everything that we expected. He's everything that we've asked, and if not more, his impact is being felt when he's on the field. You're seeing it. Quarterbacks are having to look over their shoulder. Now, again, first 2 weeks, take it 1 week at a time. We'll see against LSU, a team that I would think is probably of the three teams you would have played to this point. LSU would be the most talented. That'll be a test, and we'll see how he handles that. But brother, I am very excited about this defense and Clayton White's unit. All the crap I gave Clayton White last year, and even throughout the offseason, not being as excited about his group, they've come out and they proved me every bit of wrong, and hopefully they continue to ascend to that top tier defensive group.
Um, like Nicky Memori said in the preseason, this defense is going to be historical for this university. And by far, the first 2 weeks, yeah, they have been historical. Now, all I ask for as a fan, as you know what I'm saying, stay consistent, please. Stay consistent. I'm glad we're getting the national spotlight that this defense deserves. God, they here for, honestly, I think they're here for Dylan Stewart. Let's keep it a buck. Dylan, he has gone viral on Twitter. The moves that he is doing, this highlights, is all through the internet right now. One thing I don't like, I just don't appreciate that they assuming that Dylan Stewart is going to hit the portal, which is it's kind of funny, but I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Big schools may tamper. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, Dylan Stewart is having fun. He's balling with us. Um, I hope that, when that day comes in the off season, he stick around with us. You know what I'm saying? Beam was there day one with him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited as well, bro. I think LSU was. I think they out of the two teams that we played so far, I believe they got the highest rated O line. So it's a test for that defensive line. You know what I'm saying? It's a test for them. Can they keep up? Can they keep that same intensity, that same fight? Personally, I think they will. But LSU's a different team. They here to fight. I mean, I know they pissed about losing the Southern Cal the other week. So you know we're gonna have to bring it. We got to bring it. We got the national spotlight on us, so man, we gonna have to bring it. But we're talking about the defense enough. Let's talk about that offense, bro. How you feeling?
Here's the thing about the offense. I feel like I'm watching Lenore's figure it out each play at a time. You watch him, you start seeing some of the plays he made yesterday. Let's talk about the touchdown to Mazio Bennett to start the game. That's a big time play he made. Like getting out of the pocket, scrambling, making throws on the run, showing off that athleticism, showing off his ability to push the ball down the field on the move as well. Not just being just strictly a runner as what we saw the week before. He's starting to figure it out. There are lapses and there are moments that I'm a bit concerned with his awareness in the pocket. Like he sometimes feel like he doesn't feel the rush at all. That's a bit scary because that can lead to a lot of turnovers and that can lead to a lot of mistakes. Um, but there are times where I feel like maybe he's just got that type of steel-minded mentality where he's just gonna stand in there no matter what and sling it regardless, which is to be commended and which is a good trait. But it's just gotta be balanced out. I think the more and more I start to see the receivers get involved, and I start to see Lenoris become comfortable, the more my faith will grow. Again, facing LSU, I haven't watched much of their defense. I'm not really too. I'm not too sure if they're. I'm not too sure about that unit. But if I'm thinking about any LSU team, this is going to be the most talented unit we faced to this point, and we're gonna have to ask for more from Lenoris. We're gonna have to ask for more from this offensive line to to be able to protect. I still want to see more out of the running game. The running game to me, even in the Old Dominion game, did not impress me, and against Kentucky wasn't consistent enough with Rocket Sanders carrying the rock that I would like. Even though he has some impressive runs, as an individual. I still want to see this unit come together to have an overall better performance. There's still things to be improved upon, but right now I'm impressed with what I saw out of Lenore, especially bouncing back from uh, a subpar game in week one against a lesser opponent to then go on the road and have a better group, better performance, seem more poised, seem more locked in. It was great to see. It makes me feel good about the type of kid that he is because that shows off great. That shows like great mental toughness to be able to bounce back like that.
And that's what we talked on. That's the point you brought up. You said if you're not really there, if you're not locked in, what I'm saying, the SEC can really wear you down. And I like how Lenore's bounced back after, messing up. He threw a pick. Cool. And that's what we talked about. Like let Lenore's air the ball out more. What I'm saying? Mess up's gonna happen. His awareness in the pocket concerned me as well, bro. I felt like I mean, I get it. What I'm saying? I saw a tweet that it could be his goggles where he not seeing, you know, lineman coming off the edge, the blitz or whatever. It's messing with his peripheral. So, um, I mean, I don't know if he need those goggles or not. I don't know if he can just use contacts instead. I don't know if it'll affect this game or anything like that. But I mean, it's just freshman mistakes, man. I think this is fun with Lenore's because we're gonna see him grow as a player. Like, we're watching this kid grow, and I think that, he's gonna get better. LSU's a test though. Man, if he can a lot of pressure on this kid, bro. We ain't beat LSU at home since 1930, the year 1930. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. We rarely beat LSU like that. Yeah, we haven't beat LSU in Columbia since the year 1930. Yeah, my grandmother was born 8 years later after that. So, yeah, bro. So, I mean, it's a lot of pressure here. A lot of all things got to come to an end. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, for us to get LSU, the offense got to be clicking. I'm sorry, like this it's got to be clicking.
And this is the thing too. I mean, this is an opportunity. Last week this past weekend was an opportunity to start off the year 1-0 in conference play, something that we don't do very often here at South Carolina. That's what last week's opportunity presented. This week's opportunity is to collect as many wins before October. And that's been our mission since the beginning, since before the season started to now. Our biggest thing was you need to collect as many wins before you hit October, because once you get there, brother, it's a gauntlet, and you're gonna be in hell's chamber each and every week. You're just cycling them out. So get there with as many wins as possible. LSU's a good football team. And, we chopped it up yesterday. Like, I can't think about anything else other than how do we figure out how to get past LSU. I think strictly if we're able to create a pass rush, this defensive line gets the opportunity to prove it, show to the nation, like this is a legitimate group. You go out there and you get out the Grant Nussmeier and you make life hard for them. I do trust our secondary. And this is a test, but this is a test for those guys as well. I mean, we talk about guys like O'Donnell Fortune, Judge Colley, or Jalen Kilgore. Just in the cornerback room, they have an opportunity to prove something. I mean, to me that's been a group that's been quietly impressive, because nobody's talked about them nearly as much as the defensive line, of course. But from what I've seen in the first two games, no passes caught without them being right there, without it being contested. Nothing feels like it's being. I don't feel like there's guys running wide open in the secondary like we had last year, or even last week. You know what I'm saying, with DQ Smith. Like, you're starting to feel like, oh, the veteran guys that we've had play, several years of SEC games, they're starting to actually come to fruition. We're starting to see, oh, these guys have played a lot of ball. You start to see there's a lot of experience in that back end. And you had young guys like Vakari Swain, who got more time this weekend. Good to see him get that type of time. And I feel like he's ready for whatever that he has to bring, you know what I'm saying? Well, with the highs and the lows. This defense though has an opportunity to do something big time in Columbia. If you can get out to the quarterback and you can make life difficult, you'll be able to lean on the crowd. We know these crowds in Columbia, they come loud and rowdy no matter what time the game starts. I want to see them be able to, feed into the crowd early and get the crowd involved. But this is a tougher group than what we've seen in weeks past.
Yeah, because Gary Nussmeier, he's going to try DBs. LSU is going to try it, 110%. I think I listened to a podcast earlier. I think LSU went away from the run a little bit. So yeah, if we can get them away from the run, it's a test though, because LSU got some fire weapons. What's number two? What's my man name?
Kyron Lacey.
Kyron Lacey. Yeah, yeah. I can't recall who's our cornerback one. He's gonna have a tough test. He's gonna have a very tough test. I don't know if we're gonna put Neek on him, Neek and Mawari on him. I don't know, or Neek just shadow his side. I think that should be our best bet.
I would probably say Nick in a more of a shallow role. That ain't the matchup wise with Kyron. If I don't know how much he moves around, I don't know how much he'll be in the slot, how much he'll be on the outside. But if he's gonna be on the outside, then I'm shading Nick. Yeah, now I do agree. You maybe shade Nick to his side. Again, it's LSU. The one thing we do know about LSU is that they're gonna keep a pack of receivers.
Correct.
They got them lined up. So this is where I'm saying, like, as a secondary, I think the improvements that we've made back there as well will be just as important as we made on the front seven. If those guys are able to stay in position, not have guys running free down the field, like be in position to make plays and make the passing windows small for Garrett Nussmeier. Hey, can Dylan Stewart get there off the edge? Can Kyle Kennard get there off the edge? I mean, we talk about our front, man. We're talking about a defensive line group that can go as deep as it really wants to go. I mean, we've seen a lot of Brian Thomas. We've seen, obviously our interior group has Tonka Hemingway, TJ Sanders, and Alice Boogie Huntley.
Yeah,
We're able
Velman got some in yesterday. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, we've been able to see a lot of different guys, a lot of different groups. Get their chances at making plays. You guys need to be effective. I mean, it's of
yeah,
the utmost importance that we are able to be effective up front and create pressure, because that then creates the turnovers in the back end. That then and we have guys that are gonna get their hands on the football. Jalen Kilgore has been a guy that has proven to get his hands on the football. Nick Milwari with the pick he made, which was pretty much, Vandergrift didn't even see him in his line of vision, making that play and then taking it to the crib. These are the types of plays that we're talking about. Like, hey, like, these are big time plays. You know what I'm saying? Getting your hands on the football, cribbing it. That's what you want from your defensive backs. So, be a playmaker. And I think we do have guys that are very much capable of doing that. I think, agitating a group like that early and often is going to be a key. But, also proving whether we're tough in the interior or not. Because Kentucky, there were things in that Kentucky game that I saw that I'm like, ooh, buddy, if you're not able to stop the run, if teams are able to lean on you, yeah, they don't think that nobody saw what happened against Kentucky in the ground game, and don't think that we're gonna try to lean on this group, and we're gonna see how tough they really are. Now, Kentucky is a group that is known, at least in the past decade, for being that tough minded group that will just run the ball right at you.
yeah,
So, that was what it was, but we have to then counteract. Like, how do we react to that? I mean, how do our linebackers play after that? You know, and we'll see. They'll have an opportunity this week to be able to prove that, hey, we can play all phases of the game when it comes down to our defense.
yeah, man. Because Mark Stoops usually had Kentucky, well disciplined, and but we said forget all that. You know, we knocked them off their game. We got them uncomfortable, which is rare. Like, I'm just shocked. I was shocked by it, bro. Like, we knocked the team out their game. So Brock Vandegrift, I think he only got 30 yards. I didn't realize he only had 30 yards passing, bro. That's insane.
It was, bro. It was legitimate. It was legitimate. I was wondering, like, hey, like in a game against a better opponent, like, how would that secondary look this week? Because I thought in week one against Old Dominion, I'm like, our corners, our DBs, they look like they're on everything. They look like they're on top of everything. I'm like, all right, it's cool. It's cool against ODU. It's fine.
Yeah,
What do you do the next week when you get better comp? And now you're gonna have even better comp coming than they come in the next. Now, what I will say is that, like, this LSU group isn't Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Like, it still isn't that group, but it's still LSU nonetheless. And I will always respect what they have in that particular room. Um, Brian Kelly, though, this is a good coach. Don't get twisted. Like, Brian Kelly's a good coach. He's gonna have his team prepared. They're gonna be, if I had to bet, they're gonna be ready. The only thing I can hope is for maybe the element of surprise of, like, these kids have never seen South Carolina before. They've never played South Carolina. They haven't played South Carolina in a long time. None of these kids have any recollection of what Williams-Brice Stadium is about. I gotta hope the fans bring a certain level of intensity and bring a college game day there. I know the fans will bring the intensity. My hope is, my hope can only be that the team brings the same intensity level that the fans are gonna bring, and it will be a perfect storm of sorts. Early game, new environment that a team isn't used to. Let's see if we can get these guys off kilter early, and we're gonna test the mental toughness of Garrett Nussmeier and the rest of the LSU group and see if they can hold it down in a place that they are not familiar with in the SEC.
Yeah, like it's gonna take the crowd. We're gonna need to be rowdy. We're gonna need to be loud. Like Brian Kelly, man, yeah, damn good coach. All his days from Notre Dame, then his days down to LSU. I think it's gonna be a test for Bean too, man. Like you can't get out coach, bro. You got to. It's gonna be a coaching duel, bro. You got to be smart. You we have to be smart. We got to play physical. You know what I'm saying? We have to be. There's got to be a well coached game. This game is gonna come down to coaching. If we can make LSU throw, which is crazy, it's risky. But I got the confidence with our DBs that I think Dylan Stewart, Kyle Kennard, that D line, they're gonna shut down. If we can shut the running down, you know what I'm saying? We make Garrett Nussmeier throw. Let's create turnovers. Let's create INTs. Then my fear is, do we have the offense to secure it? Like, will the offense be clicking enough? Because we clicked a little bit. We you know what I'm saying? We got the gears turning just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? How will Illinois fare? Because also LSU is called DBU for a reason. So let's see. Maybe I'm pretty sure they're thinking the same thing.
For me, the biggest thing offensively would be to lean on what I believe should be your strength, which is your ground game. This week, you need to get whatever it is cleaned up with the offensive line to be able to run the ball with Rocket Sanders. He needs to be an integral part of what we do offensively. If he is able to have a quintessential Rocket Sanders game, which would mean that he may touch the rock 20 plus times. He may run for about 130, 140. Like, if that were the type of day we were able to get out of him, then then I would have no problems at all about what that game will look like. Because we'll be able, because then we be controlling the line of scrimmage. We know what it comes down to in this conference: the line of scrimmage, the trenches. We know what this conference is all about, and this is the perfect game to become to hone in on that. I think even the QB run game that we saw against ODU, yeah, like and you saw it even with against Kentucky, especially with Robbie Ashford in the series that he went in for Lenore's. The QB run game is one that we may have to utilize in that particular matchup, because that does make it 11 on 11 hats, man on man. Can you move the guy in front of you? That's probably going to be where our game plan is headed. If Lenore's can have a big day as a passer, brother, I'd be very surprised. Just because of the type of game that I'm thinking this will be. If he's able to have a game where he had throws for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, I think in a game like that we would possibly win. But it's neither here nor there.